Hi, everybody. It's Robin from Roaming with Rover. Thanks for popping in today. What we're going to be talking about today is this is the update from the craft fair. So I hope you saw a day or two ago the craft fair setup video I did, which was, I know it was a little bit different, and I know part of it was kind of hard to hear because I was being quiet because there was a lot of people around. But what I was trying to show you was what the craft fair looked like, what some of the other booths looked like, and part of my setup process. It was different. I'd not done an indoor craft fair before. As you guys know, I spent all summer doing my Wednesday night farmers market. So I was used to having to have everything tied down and everything hooked up and lots of straps. And I realized I went to hang things and I'm like, oh, I'm used to clipping things to these straps that I used as tie downs, and I didn't have those there. So part of the process was rearranging things because it just wasn't the same. Just the physical setup wasn't the same. And they had told us some requirements, and then we got there and I had set up according to the requirements, and then other people were told, oh no, don't worry about that. You don't need to worry about that. So that's always a little frustrating. The people that were running it, this was the first time this year that they had run this particular event. So they had some issues, not issues, but there was a learning curve for them as well. Just so you guys know, it's cold here, so my heater is going to be turning off and on. Right now it's nice and quiet, but it may be popping on again. So just so you guys know, there is going to be background noise with that heater. I turned the temp down, but it's probably still going to pop in. So I had no idea what to expect with this. It was a craft show that is done at a high school, local high school, and I had anticipated that it was going to be quite busy. It was at a high school in one of the nicer parts of town, so I had anticipated that the crowds would be there ready to buy, and I had been told by vendors that were at the farmers market that this is always a very good craft show. So that was what I went in with. That was the anticipation that I went in with. It's not exactly what happened. When we got there and we set up, and I talked to some of the other vendors there, and they told me the same thing, that this is typically one of their best shows. In fact, there was a lady there, oh, she had beautiful things. Beautiful amigurumi, great big things, like full-size things, and her prices reflected that. Her pricing for a full-size amigurumi, beautiful, like a dinosaur, or just nice, nice big things like that, were in the $80 to $100 range. And she had said that she probably had not brought enough stuff to get her through the show. And I was kind of flabbergasted. And she said, typically at that show, she completely sells out. And throughout the course of the weekend, we never saw what I would consider a crowd. We were never so busy that, you know, I'm used to, when I think of a crowd, I think of like hordes of people, or lots of people going by, or so many people that you can't see across the hall to the other side. It was never like that. It was never so many people that you couldn't see the booth next to you. It just wasn't busy. It was not what I considered busy. And when I talked to the other vendors, they said the same thing. It wasn't busy at all. Talked to 2 or 3 vendors who said it was probably 1/3 of the crowd that they had anticipated. A couple of things that probably that likely affected this. The first thing that probably affected it was, again, they felt there was not any advertising done. Even people that normally go to this did not even know it was this weekend. So that was a big thing. Another thing that that likely affected it was, usually this is the only craft fair the weekend that they do it is the only craft fair that weekend, and it's one of the first ones of the season. This year, one of the other high schools had theirs the same weekend, and I thought this was odd, again, because there was a new lady running it. Some of the vendors pulled out of this one and went to the other one, and she gave them their money back. That is unheard of. Yeah, you can pull out, but you're not getting your space fees back. So that was weird. There was booth space open at this one, and I guess that's just that never happens. I also know, because I had when I had applied for this one and gotten in, I had also applied for the other one, because you apply like 2 or 3 months in advance, and you never know if you're going to get in or not. Well, when I got into this one, I guess I was waitlisted on the other one. I don't know. You never hear back from these people. They never tell you you actually get in. You just kind of wait and see if they cash your check. But they had told me at the other one, no, there wasn't space for me. Well, then a week before the show, I got a message, oh, there's room for you now, give us your money. Well, no, I'm already accepted and excited to be in this other show, so no, I'm not sending them any money. So there were 2 big shows on the same day, and we had gorgeous weather. I mean gorgeous weather, like weather in the low 70s. So on Saturday and Sunday, we had weather in the low 70s, and we knew that weather was coming that was going to be in the high 20s to low 30s within a day or two. So Saturday and Sunday, we had gorgeous, beautiful weather. By Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we were going to be freezing. So we think a lot of people stayed home, did their last minute yard stuff, took care of the sprinklers, were winterizing, doing that last minute stuff that needed to be done for the cold snap that was coming. So I think it was just a combination of a lot of things that kept people away from this particular show. And let's be honest, there's 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 more shows coming up over the next 2 months. And it's basically going to be the same vendors at all the shows. There'll be some that are different. I mean, there are always some that are different, but you're going to be able to go to another show in a few weeks and get the same stuff. I mean, that's the reality of this thing. So, but most people were quite surprised at how few customers came through. So there's that. Okay, now, having said that, I had nothing to compare this to, because I came off of the farmers market event, which was completely different environment and a completely different neighborhood than what I was looking at the indoor craft fair. And the craft fair is an environment where people are coming to buy crafts, coming to shop, okay? So, you saw the setup. You saw the setup video. I had 3 sides, and thankfully, they put us up against a wall, but because of the setup, we pulled our table away from the wall to make it more inviting for people, because I just got the feel that they were not, and I was looking at the setup of other people, and I just thought people are not going to come all the way into the booth, go all the way to that back wall and look at stuff on the table. They're just not going to do it. So I pulled that back table way forward so they just kind of could peruse without, and then I left us our stuff against that back wall. Well, because of that, I didn't have that back hanging wall for all the bags and things. So it was just a real different setup for us. So we had to get used to that. I had to rearrange things. I also had brought in some things that I could not have at the farmer's market because they were adamant that every single thing we sold had to be handmade by us. And that's fine because that was the environment. We don't have that restriction here. So I could bring in some things that were less expensive and I had wanted to bring in some things that I could do for $1 and $2 because the kiddos will often come in with their little dollar bill clutched in their hand, and I can't do anything for $1 crochet. I just can't do it. And maybe you guys can. I wasn't able to come up with anything. So what I was able to do, and I was very glad, was I was able to come up with some stickers, and I was able to come up with, what are they called? They're called gibbets. And I got those on accident, purely accidental. And gibbets are, if you don't know, you know Crocs, the shoes with the holes in them. Gibbets are these decorative things that they buy to put in the holes. And they have everything from trucks to flowers to Mickey Mouse to cartoon characters to even little miniature Crocs that they put in the holes. And so they're little decorations for their shoes. And I bought them by mistake one time thinking they were charms that I was going to make into earrings, and they were these gibbets. And I thought, what are these? Well, luckily the gal that shares the booth with me, Cookie Jen, and you saw her in the setup video. Her little setup is so nice. She knew what they were. So we stuck them in a bowl, and they sold in minutes. So I knew when I was doing this, I got a bunch more of those to be able to set out in a basket. And the other reason, other than the little kiddos with their dollar bill in their hot little hand, I wanted something that would catch the kids' eye. So when mom's in the booth looking at stuff, kiddos aren't going, oh, please get me out of here. They've got something they're interested in for even a couple, 3 minutes. They can paw through the stickers and paw through this basket full of gibbets. Even if they don't have shoes, they can still paw through this basket, and it keeps them occupied for a couple of minutes. And I'll tell you what, it made a difference. And because it kept them occupied, it kept them from bugging mom so she could look at things. It really made a difference. And it kept their hands off of the crocheted stuff that they weren't really interested in anyway. So I felt like that was a win-win, having those things in there. So that was a good decision. That was a good choice. But I also had to, rearrange things and figure out where I was going to put that stuff. And then the earrings. Oh, the earrings. Those things, they are a savior for me. They are a lifesaver for me. But every single time I take them down and put them up again, and you saw me just struggling with those things. Literally the morning of, I spent 2 to 3 hours resetting those up because they keep falling off the racks. I could not figure out a way to keep those on the racks. No matter what I have done, they will not stay on the racks. And I'm wrapping them up, and I'm carefully. They're driving me crazy. So so Saturday afternoon, I wandered around and I looked at how everybody else was hanging them up, trying to get some ideas of what to do. And I don't have the space that a lot of other people have for just hanging up earrings. And Mr. thankfully came up with an idea. And let me show you what his idea is. So, and I forgot my earring rack today. I was going to show you exactly what my idea is. So the earring rack that I have, it's about this big, and it's solid wire mesh. But the holes are so big, and I can hang the earrings in them, but they don't stay in it. So this was his idea. Wrap it in fabric. Then I can poke the earrings through the fabric. And then I've got the earring thing, and I can put that on after I put the fabric on. They'll hang nicely in there. They'll stay in there. I can take them on and off when I need to, when I sell them or when I need to put new ones on. No problem. So yesterday I went to Joann's and I'm looking at fabric and I'm looking at fabric and I was just going to get some plain white fabric. Then the earrings will show up better on there. And then I saw a lady in line at the cutting table and she had some netting in her hand. So that's what I bought. I bought the netting. So the netting, super inexpensive, and the netting will wrap around, and I can even kind of poofy it up a little bit, but the netting will easily wrap around that stand, and the earring will go through it, no problem. Because I was thinking with the fabric, I'm really gonna have to poke it through that fabric, but the earring will poke through that netting, no problem, and I can easily hook the little backing onto it without any issue at all. So now I'm gonna be, and the netting ended up with a tiny little bit of sparkle on it, and I got all of the netting for next to nothing. I got 5 yards of the netting, and I've only got 3. I've got 3 of those, the black metal ones, and then the other one, the original wooden one, those will stand. I don't have as much problem with those because these already hook right onto the little holes, and I've ordered a couple more of that style. So hopefully I'll get that today, and then I can transfer the earrings over, and I won't have nearly as much problem with that as I did. So, how did we do? It was weird. Okay. Thankfully, because Cookie Jen is there selling her cookies, and that's always a big draw. She did very, very well. She needs more space. So next time I'm taking out one of the tables of crochet stuff, she gets more space for her stuff because she's selling a lot. She needs more. And we're splitting the cost, so she deserves more space. I took my little notebook with me, and I think I wrote down, I tried to write down everything that I sold on the 2 days. I was really surprised. So on the first day, I sold 1 frog, 1 pickle, 1 octo, and 1 of the miniature chickens. The little shoe gibbets, 8. The stickers, 33. And the earrings, I sold 24 pairs of earrings. And it may have been a little bit more. I tried so hard to do a good job of keeping track of the earrings. On the second day, on Sunday was not as busy as as Saturday, but it seemed like almost everybody that came in actually bought something. It was almost like the first day they kind of wandered through, the second day they knew what they wanted. Or maybe it was the vendors had had a chance to look around and they knew what they came in to buy. That's what I did. I had had a chance to look at stuff, so anything I actually wanted to buy, I popped in and bought on Sunday. So, on Sunday, I sold 1 frog, 1 bee, 1 of my bags, an oxalato bag, 10 of the shoe charms, 7 stickers, 1 of the row counters that I make, and I'm going to make some more of those, so you guys will be seeing those. 1 Sesame Street hat, one hat, and 12 pairs of earrings. So it's the earrings that are selling. Hardly any of the crochet stuff. All told, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of the little critters, and 1 hat. And that is it on the crochet stuff. All the little inexpensive crochet things. And 1 hat. All the rest were earrings and stickers. So I'm really seriously thinking of pulling back on the crochet stuff, and not a single pumpkin sold, not a single one of the full-size chickens. And there was another booth there with the exact same chickens, and hers were there. It was the exact same pattern. It was exact same, and the quality was identical. It was the same yarn, and hers cost more. And she sold out. She sold out. She was sitting there making more while we were visiting. She was right next to the door. That is the only thing I can think of that was different. And good on her. Good on her. Yeah, I was just looking at my list. So I've got another show next weekend. I'm going to make one more pickle. I was just sitting here looking at this yarn. I'm going to make one more pickle. Because I have no more pickles. I've got 1 bee left. I'm not going to make another bee. I'm going to make one more pickle. I'm going to make, I have 1 more small chicken. I'll probably make another small chicken. I have 2 frogs left. I was thinking about making another frog. I made a list. I'm going to make a pickle. I'm going to make a frog. I'm going to make 2 hats in the school colors that I'm going to be for. Make 1 small chicken, and I'm going to make a turtle. And that's it. That's all. That's it. And I'm not even going to take the cup cozies. I'm not taking headbands. I'm not taking hair scrunchies. I'm not taking washcloths. I'm not taking the spa stuff. I'm not taking the kitchen towel things. I'm not taking any of that kind of stuff. Nobody even looked at it. So what I am taking is the chickens, the pumpkins, because it's still fall, maybe they will sell. The hats, all the Sesame Street stuff. I have 16 Sesame Street hats and loveys. I have 2 scarves. I have 6 pumpkins. I'm taking the frogs and the octos. I've got 1 bee left, and that's what I'm taking. So I'm taking the amigurumi and the hats, and that's it as far as crochet stuff. And that's it. That's all the crochet stuff I'm taking with me. And all the rest is going to be the stickers, the gibbets, the shoe charms, and the earrings, because that's what people are buying. And I'm adding in a handful of keychains, because I think I can do those pretty inexpensive too, like a $5 keychain thing. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely made back my booth fee. I made back probably, if I subtract my booth fee and my cost of goods, I probably cleared somewhere in the neighborhood of $300. I'm happy with that. I know some people would just be, are you kidding me? I'm thrilled with that. I think that's a very good first indoor craft fair with not a lot of traffic. So yeah, definitely cleared $300. Maybe a little, maybe 3 1/4, give or take. Really pleased with that. What do you guys think? Do you think that's good for a weekend? Plus having figured out the problem with the earrings. I think this netting around those. I feel like I'm on a cloud. But I think this is going to take care of the earring problem. And that in and up for $5. Take care of the earring problem for $5. I'm really pleased about that. If this takes care of the earring, I spent 3 freaking hours rehanging earrings before the show on Saturday. If this takes care of that problem for $5, You have no idea how happy that's going to make me. So I may just turn into an earring booth. We'll see. With a handful. And that's the other problem. When I go to sign up for events and I tell them I'm a crochet booth, they're like, no thanks, not interested. We got tons. And that was the other thing. In the hallway that I was in, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 5 crochet booths. 5 of us. And the majority of things that, in fact, there was 5 of us, and 4 of us were selling amigurumi almost exclusively. And one lady had nothing but hats, a table full of hats and headbands that she was selling for $10. $10 for hats, $5 for headbands. That kills us. You guys know you can't even make a hat for $10 barely. And they were pretty. And so she's not even making back barely the cost of her yarn, let alone her time. And that's the kind of stuff that kills us as crocheters, as sellers. And so people see that, and then they go see a hat for $25, and they're like, but I'm not going to give my stuff away when it takes an hour and a half to make it, and the cost of materials was almost $10. So yeah, so there's that. Hopefully she won't be at every show that I go to. So that's the update. I appreciate you guys popping in today. Thank you ever so much. Please like, please subscribe. I am sneaking up on that 2,000, and we've got some special stuff coming up too. So be on the lookout for that. If you didn't get a chance to watch that setup video, put it on fast forward during the actual setup part. Watching me fight with those earrings, that wasn't a joy. But it's fun to see what the other people have. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.